أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين الطيبين الطاهرين ومن والاهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين وبعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Inshallah, today we will be discussing on the origins and waves of feminism, specifically the first and the second waves. But before we dive into this discussion, very important discussion, a contemporary issue, we have to ask ourselves, when we hear words like feminism, what actually comes to our mind first? Is it freedom? Is it equality? Is it things like my body, my choice, as some sisters say? This isn't the reality, and then we cannot judge except when we compare Islam with feminism. Before the advent of feminism, what does Islam say? What does Islam did to restore the rights of women back to them? And then, if we will look at the first wave of feminism is between the 1800s and early 1900s. This first wave focuses or started in order to fight for basic rights of women. Basic rights like women, they wanted to vote. Secondly, women, they want to own property. And thirdly, women, they want to get access to education. Fourthly, women, they want to choose their own husbands themselves. So among others, these are the four main basic rights in which or for which the first wave of feminism emerged to fight for. These four basic rights. They want to own property, they want to vote, they want to choose their husbands themselves, and they want to get access to education. And do you know what? These women, they are acting to a real problem. They are reacting to a real problem. Because in the West, at that time, in Europe, in America, that is between the 1800s and 1900s, in America and Europe and the rest of the non-Muslim continents and countries and nations, women were seen as the origin of original sin. I repeat, the church teaches, or the church taught that women are the origin of original sin. We all know the historical fact that happened when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in other words, when God created Adam and Eve, in other words, Adam and Hawa. So Shaitan wanted to tempt Prophet Adam alayhi salam in order to disobey the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not to eat from that tree. But he couldn't. So he followed through his wife, Eve or Hawa. He followed through her and tempted her, in which she, in return, she tempted Prophet Adam alayhi salam, and they both ate that fruit. So because of this historical scenario, the church taught that women were the origin of original sin, and because of this, women are seen as inferior. Women are seen as inferior. They cannot inherit. Yeah, this is the fifth right they want to fight for. They cannot inherit. They cannot vote. They don't have access to education. They cannot own properties, and they cannot choose their husbands themselves. But Islam has already solved this 1,400 years ago, even before feminism was born. Islam gave women the rights to own property. Islam gave women the right to inherit wealth. Islam gave women the right to testify in courts. Islam gave women the right to choose their husbands. Islam gave women the right to seek knowledge. Islam gave women the right to be treated with dignity and respect. Before Islam, women are buried alive. Infant children, infant girls were buried alive. Because to have a female child is seen as a taboo at that time. But when Islam came, it cleaned all those things away. Islam restored back the right of women, women dignity, women rights. It restored back women value, the value of women. They can inherit property. For the Muslims, you should go and search for the sababun nuzul, the reason for the revelation of the verse للرجال نصيب مما ترك الوالدان والأقربون وللنساء نصيب مما ترك الوالدان والأقربون. This verse was revealed in an incident whereby a woman, a lady, came to the Prophet ﷺ. Her husband died. He left her with daughters. So the tradition then was women cannot inherit. They were even part of the property to be inherited. So because of this, the family of her deceased husband, they came and claimed all his leftover, all the wealth he died and left over. So she came and complained to the Prophet ﷺ. Prophet ﷺ said, this is the tradition. There is nothing to do. Then Angel Jibril came down and then he revealed this verse. Men have their own share from what parents and close ones, relatives, left. وَلِلنِّسَاءِ نَصِيبٌ مِمَّا تَرَكَ الْوَالِدَانِ وَالْأَقْرَبُونَ. And women too have their own share from what parents and close relatives died and lived. مِمَّا قَلَّ مِنْهُ أَوْ كَثُرَ. Whether it is little of it or much. نَصِيبًا مَفْرُوضًا. A share that is mafruḍa, a share that is obligatory, mandatory. So this verse was revealed because of this incident. You see, Islam restored this right of women to inherit when it came. So this is all about the first wave of feminism. The first wave, women in the 1800s. Mind you, as a Muslim, you have all those rights that the first wave tried to fight for. You have the right to vote, you have the right to own property, you have the right to inherit, you have the right to testify in courts, you have the right to choose your husband, you have the right to seek knowledge, you have the right to be treated with dignity and respect and honor. So, if we can see and look into it deeply, we will understand that the first wave of feminism is trying to catch up with what Islam already offered women 1,400 years ago. Already Islam has already given women this particular rights that the first wave of feminism tried to fight for. So then, here comes the second wave of feminism, and that is the wave of the rejection of roles. This wave started between the 1960s to early 1980s. The rejection of roles. Women started saying that women are not just equal. Well, I shouldn't generalize and say women, in particular feminists. They started saying, they came up with a new idea that women are not just equal to men. They should be the same as men. Mind you, there is difference between being equal in value and being the same. All of us were equal in value, men and women. We are all equal in value. We are all human beings. We are all from Adam alayhi salam wa Adam min turab. Prophet said that. All of us are from Adam, and Adam is from soil, is from clay. So, of course, our equality, of course, our value as human beings are the same. But we are not the same in regard to creation, in regard to nature, in regard to disposition, in regard to roles and duties and objectives. Allah created us with a different purpose, secondary purpose, of course. The primary purpose of our creation is worship. Secondary purpose, Allah created us for a secondary purpose different from that of the secondary purpose for which He created the women. But this second wave of feminism between the 1960s to early 1980s, it came up with a new idea that women are not just equal in value with men. No, they should be the same as men. Okay, if you are reasonable, think, is that possible? Will that be possible for women to be the same as men? Of course, they are equal in value, but they can never be the same. They can never be the same. Each has his own part to play. But this idea comes with it. And this wave, the second wave of feminism, it focused on workplace rights, on sexual freedom, and dismantling traditional gender roles. Traditional gender roles. Traditionally, there are different cultures, there are different traditions. Some traditions and in some cultures you will see that traditionally women has their own roles to play. Men has their own roles to play. The roles are shared or divided between the two genders, male and female. So this second wave of feminism, it came with the idea that women should not only be equal with men, they should be the same as men. Equality is being equal is different, and being the same is also something different. We all know this, right? So it focused on working place rights, sexual freedom, and dismantling the traditional gender roles, as I mentioned earlier. So then you will hear feminists at that time start saying marriage is a trap. You see, not knowing that by them saying this, they are drawing you sister, they are drawing you into their own trap. Okay, marriage is a trap, so you should avoid marriage. When you avoid marriage, then they will have the full opportunity to convince you to what? To transgender, to bisexual, to lesbianism. May Allah protect us. It's just it. Okay? They convince you to abandon marriage. They convince you that marriage is a trap, and you are convinced. But you couldn't understand with your reason that you abandon marriage and you follow them into filthy acts like lesbianism, like bisexual, like being bisexual, like being a transgender. Who lost? Actually, who lost? Then secondly, they said that motherhood is slavery. You will spend a whole day at home trying to raise up a baby, trying to be a mother. No, leave that job off. You know, enter into the free world, enjoy your life. They try to dismantle the traditional gender roles between men and women. They proceed with the ideas, the third idea of religion is patriarchal. What is religious is patriarchal. That is, religion gives men more dominance than women. That is, all the power, all the dominicality, all the command lays in the hands of men. They control everything, and women are subjugated to them. They are subject to their orders, their commands, and the rest. So they bring up ideas like this. That not only Islam, religion is patriarchal, right? Patriarchal. And then the fourth is modesty is oppression. Modesty is oppression. Why is it that they are asking questions, silly questions like, why is it that it is only women that are required to cover? Of course, women are required to cover, and at the same time, men are required to lower their gaze. Women are required to cover, men are required to lower their gaze. So both of them have their own role to play, have their own responsibility to do in order to reduce the temptation and the illegal sexual, things going around. If you dress properly, of course he will lower his gaze. But if you open your nudity, of course a brother with a sick heart will of course raise his gaze. He will not lower it. So dress properly and he will lower. Display nudity and he will raise his gaze. So both the male and female, men and women need to support each other in everything, if not only this issue. But it came with the idea that modesty is oppression. You have to do as you want, as you like, as you feel free to do. This is when feminism started to clash with Islam. Here, right? Of course, it must clash with Islam. They said motherhood is slavery. They said modesty is oppression. Ideas like this. They said modesty is oppression, religion is patriarchal, motherhood is slavery. They said marriage is a trap. So it was in the second wave of feminism that feminism began to clash openly with Islam. Let's not forget, the first wave focuses on basic rights, to own properties, to vote, to choose husbands, to have the right to education and the rest, etc. But in this second wave, without slavery, right? Religion is patriarchal, right? Modesty is oppression, right? Marriage is a trap. These four things, if we look, not only it's been clashing with Islam, also it directly clashed with traditional non-rights and traditional known roles of women, or let me say gender roles traditionally. So this at this place, in this way, that feminism clearly started to clash with Islam, because in Islam, womanhood is honored and not erased. To be a woman is an honor. To be a woman is an honor. In Islam, yes, to be a woman is an honor. There are many ahadith in the Prophet ﷺ. 2 daughters guarantees a father Jannah. 2 daughters guarantees him Jannah when he raised them well and he married them off. He gets Jannah because of them. Tell me the something said about having a male child. There isn't. There is not any. You see? And then motherhood is sacred, not secondary. Motherhood is sacred, not secondary. Mothers are given this honor. That's our paradises. Al-Jannatu tahta aqdami al-ummahat. Paradise is beneath the feet of mothers. Motherhood is sacred in Islam. It is a religious duty. She will be rewarded for being a mother. She will be honored for being a mother. She will be raised in ranks for being a good mother. So it was sacred. It is a worship. It was a worship. And then modesty in Islam, modesty is protection and not punishment. Modesty is protection. Of course, whatever you honor, whatever you value, whatever you give importance to it, you will try to protect it. Right? You will try to cover it. You will try to protect that thing. So Islam, by enjoining women to cover, to be modest, Islam is protecting them, not punishing them, not humiliating them, not oppressing them. So Alhamdulillah, we come to the end of the first and second waves of feminism. See you in the third and fourth waves. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.